should really throw this pen out, but I'm not giving up on it yet because it's very new. It's really frustrating. Oh, I should do this first. Factor, not a y equals, just x squared plus 8x equals 10. The zeros are the same thing as the x-intercepts. The vertex and the y-intercept. Okay, so the very first thing that we're going to do with quadratics is if you see something like this today where there is not a zero on this side and I ask you to find the zeros, you're going to move it. How would I move that? Oh, and it should be a, sorry, change that to a 20. I'm having another brain fart this morning. Change that to a 20, it's not a 10. How would you move that? You're going to minus 20. So I minus 20 to get it to the other side, and I have x squared plus 8x minus 20 equals 0. Okay. Finding the zeros of a quadratic on the graph represents the x-intercepts. That's why I put it in parentheses there. So what I'm going to next do is I'm going to factor. So let's use some of the skills that we were just talking about. We are looking in our factors for something that multiplies to be negative 20. So here are our choices. 1 and 20, one is positive and one's negative, right? What else? 4 and 5, one is positive, one's negative. We can mess around with that. Or 2 and 10. Okay, so if I'm doing some work, some of you are done with this already. You factored it. I'm just trying to reteach for some of us who are struggling. If I multiply to be negative 20, do you see how there's a 1 in front here? I can go right to, they have to add up to be 8 because their like terms are going to be x terms. What is it going to be then? Give me the correct sign and number. To multiply to be negative 20, add up to be 8. Okay, talk to somebody. You're not going to talk to me. What is it going to be? Dylan, what'd you guys say?
X, negative 2, and x plus 10.
Yeah, negative 2 and 10. X minus 2, x plus 10 equals 0. Now, if you're comfortable with the x is a liar thing, then go right to what the x-intercepts are. If you're not, you can actually set them equal to 0. Okay, so this is my factored form. If x minus 2 equaled 0, the x-intercept I would add 2 to both sides would be 2, or 2, 0. You could plot that on the graph. If I was solving this one equal to 0, x would be negative 10, or negative 10, 0. Okay, so I'm done with that. Which form do you think you would do for y-intercept? Where is it easy to see the y-intercept? Standard form. So if I was asking you this question earlier on, I would go back to the beginning. Go back to right here. Where's the y-intercept? Negative 20. So going back to the original standard form, the y-intercept would be negative, or 0, negative 20. Or you could just say negative 20. Okay. Choices for vertex. I'll give you two choices. Since it starts in standard form anyways, couldn't we do negative b over 2a? We've been working on that. Okay. We do negative 8 over 2 times 1. We plug it in. Yesterday, we did an opener with that, and I felt really good after seeing what you guys did on that opener. I feel like you guys know that. Let me show you another option for finding the vertex. Notice I said the word option, okay? I like different ways of doing stuff. Remember how parabolas are symmetric? So if I had an x-intercept of 2 and negative 10, the axis, which is the x-coordinate of the vertex, is halfway between 2 and negative 10. Right? If I have my x-intercept at 2 and my x-intercept at negative 10, the axis is halfway between. Well, let's figure out what's halfway between. How do we find halfway in between something? Well, we add them together and we divide by 2. What's 2 plus negative 10? 8. What's 8 divided by 2? 4. So the axis is x equals 4. Negative 4. Yep. Jolly Rancher for you. Negative 8 and negative 4 is correct. So then, how have we found the y-coordinate in the past? Plug it in. Now you might say, well, Ms. Connery, which one do I plug it in for? Do I plug it in for factored form? Do I plug it in for standard form? Doesn't matter. Either one. Just since we haven't done it before, since Algebra 1, I'm going to plug it in to find the y. I'm going to plug negative 4 into x into this one. So I have negative 4 minus 2 times negative 4 plus 10. Let's see what that gives me. Don't FOIL this. You do the parentheses. What's negative 4 minus 10? Negative 6. What's negative 4 plus 10? Negative 6 times 6 is negative 36. So the coordinates of my vertex, that's the last thing I wanted you to find. The coordinates of my vertex, putting it together then, are negative 4, negative 36. All right, do you have enough information then to sketch a graph if you could? Yeah, probably on this one I wouldn't ask you. I believe the ones on my worksheet I picked had smaller vertex points so that you could. But this is pretty, like, I'd have to go pretty far down to graph that. But now you have all of these things. You have the vertex, the y-intercept, the x-intercepts. Okay, time for you to ask me a question. Is there anything on that that feels like you want me to talk about again? Of the 3 things that we found? Okay. So then what we're going to do is we're going to try one together. Hello? Sure. Yeah, I'll use the money. Okay, fine. Chromebook charger isn't in the office after we do this. Yeah. Oh. After we do this, you can go grab it. Okay. What? Well, I mean, those are universal, so probably you found another charger that works. Yeah. But is it a school Chromebook? Then you probably want to keep track of that, because you don't want to get like that. Student line. I'm pretty sure our family owns a lot of computers. like somebody's always asking me, and I'm like, this is fine, where's it? I guess you don't have to worry about that till you graduate, so don't let you walk, get your diploma if you don't pay your student debt. That's where they get everyone. Because otherwise you'll be like, oh, it's on the student debt. Why do I need to pay that? Well, eventually they get you. All right. When I was clicking on things, I must have stopped recording. We'll see how far I got. I'm assuming these are just factoring up here, okay? I left you some room. There's one that's box method-ish, or if you don't like box method and you want to do just guess and check. So these ones are already, oh, I was easy on you. I already factored them for you, stinkers. All right, so let's do number 5. First, what are the zeros or x-intercepts? Five, we're doing 5. Okay, so positive 2, 0 and negative 4, 0. Just a little note here. Do you see that negative out in front? That's like a negative 1 in front. We're going to use that in a second when we sketch our graph. Okay, because negative 1 means the parabola is flipped upside down. Okay, we good so far? How do we find the vertex? Well, since I don't have the standard form, you could go all the way back and do it, I guess, and FOIL it out. That's not too hard to do. But let's use the method that I just taught you. So we're going to find the x-coordinate by going halfway in between our x-intercepts. So we're going to do 2 plus negative 4, and we're going to divide it by 2. What do we get for that? Negative 2 divided by 2, so negative 1. That's the x-coordinate of the vertex. To find the y-coordinate, we're going to go back to the original, and we're going to plug in this 4x. Okay? So I have the opposite and out in front. I have negative 1 minus 2 and negative 1 plus 4. All right. I know a lot of negatives here. What's negative 1 minus 2? Negative 3. So I have a negative out in front times a negative 3, and negative 1 plus 4 is positive 3. Looking in my row here, if I have 2 negatives, that's going to make this thing positive. Sorry, I'll go closer. Kelsey, ask a question. You good?
Yeah.
Okay. You sure?
Yeah.
Okay. This is positive 9. Let's write it as an ordered pair. The coordinates of our vertex then are negative 1. This is very frustrating. Look at that. Filled. Look at it's completely filled with ink. But it won't come out. What Mason, ask a question? You got where I get this from? No? Okay. You lying to me? Okay. All right, let's put it all together. I'm going to use that negative 1 once I graph my vertex. So I plot the point negative 1, 9. These are going up by 1s, so negative 1, 9 is right here. I'm going to go ahead and graph my x-intercepts. They are 2, 0, and negative 4, 0. Does it look symmetric so far? Okay, and then I'm going to use this negative 1 in front. From the vertex, I'm going to go over 1, down 1. That gives me the coordinate 0, 8 and negative 2, 8. And then I'm going to draw my parabola through those points. Okay. Do you understand what we're doing? Okay. So that is what you're working on, 1 through 6. This, if you don't finish.
Was that like a?
I mean, yeah, I think, I always hate to say that. People work at different speeds. You have 5 questions left in 15 minutes. I think you should be able to finish, but yes, if you don't finish, you can assume that it's homework. Remember, I don't collect homework till 2 days after, just to ask questions. So,
Yes, I'm going down.
you can go down. Let's see how long my video went. Oh, it's still recording. Surprise.